If you've been dealing with persistent itching down there and you can't figure out why, your body might be trying to tell you something serious. And no, it's not just about hygiene. I'm here to walk you through something most men are too embarrassed to talk about, but it's more common than you think. That uncomfortable itching in your testicles could be an early warning sign your body is giving you about your blood sugar levels. And if you want to stay ahead of health issues like this with practical, science-backed advice made specifically for men, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for what we're covering today. Let me start by explaining what's actually happening inside your body when your blood sugar starts climbing higher than it should. When you eat, your body breaks down carbohydrates into glucose, which is basically sugar that floats around in your bloodstream. Normally, your pancreas releases insulin, a hormone that acts like a key, unlocking your cells so glucose can enter and give you energy. But when you're heading toward diabetes or already in the early stages, your cells start resisting that insulin. They don't respond the way they should, so the glucose just stays in your blood, building up to levels that are way too high. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. High blood sugar doesn't just affect your energy or make you thirsty. It creates the perfect environment for yeast and bacteria to thrive. Glucose actually feeds these microorganisms. And one of the places this shows up first is in warm, moist areas of your body, like your groin. The skin around your testicles becomes a breeding ground for infections, particularly a type of fungal infection called candidiasis, or what most people know as a yeast infection. You might be thinking yeast infections are something only women deal with, but that's not true. Men get them too, and when your blood sugar is consistently elevated, you're at much higher risk. The itching starts because the yeast irritates your skin. It's not just a light tickle either. It's the kind of itch that's persistent, uncomfortable, and sometimes even painful. You might also notice redness, a slight burning sensation, or even a rash that looks a little flaky or has small bumps. In some cases, there's a mild odor or a whitish discharge, especially if the infection has been there for a while. But here's the thing most guys miss. They treat the itch with over-the-counter creams, maybe some powder, and it goes away for a bit. Then it comes back, and it keeps coming back. That cycle of temporary relief followed by recurrence is a red flag. Your body isn't just dealing with a surface-level skin issue, it's dealing with an internal imbalance. The real problem is your blood sugar, and until you address that, the itching is going to keep showing up no matter how much cream you use. So why does diabetes specifically target this area? It's not random. The skin in your groin is thinner and more sensitive than other parts of your body. It's also a place where sweat and moisture get trapped, especially if you're wearing tight underwear or sitting for long hours. Add elevated glucose levels into that mix, and you've basically created a perfect storm. The sugar in your sweat and skin secretions feeds the yeast, the moisture helps it grow, and your immune system, which is already compromised by high blood sugar, can't fight it off as effectively as it normally would. And it's not just yeast. Bacterial infections can happen too. High blood sugar weakens your body's ability to heal and defend itself. Small cuts, irritation from shaving, or even friction from physical activity take longer to heal and are more likely to get infected. This is why men with undiagnosed or poorly managed diabetes often experience repeated skin issues, especially in areas that stay warm and damp. Now, I want to be really clear about something. This doesn't mean every guy who has an itchy groin has diabetes. There are plenty of other causes, like jock itch, which is a fungal infection that has nothing to do with blood sugar, or simple dermatitis from soap, laundry detergent, or even friction. But if the itching is persistent, if it keeps coming back, and especially if you're also noticing other symptoms like increased thirst, frequent urination, unexplained weight loss, or constant fatigue, then it's time to take it seriously. Let's talk about the other signs your body gives you when your blood sugar is starting to go off track, because testicular itching rarely shows up alone. Your body is incredibly smart. It sends you multiple signals when something's wrong, and if you know what to look for, you can catch diabetes before it becomes a serious problem. One of the most common early signs is increased thirst and frequent urination. Here's why that happens. When your blood sugar is too high, your kidneys go into overdrive trying to filter out that excess glucose. But they can only handle so much. The sugar that your kidneys can't process ends up in your urine, and it actually pulls water along with it. This is why you're peeing more often than usual, and because you're losing all that fluid, your body desperately tries to replace it, making you feel thirsty all the time. You might find yourself drinking water constantly, but still feeling like your mouth is dry. Another sign that flies under the radar is blurry vision. High blood sugar causes the lens in your eye to swell. This changes the shape temporarily and affects your ability to focus. Then there's fatigue, and I'm not talking about the normal tiredness you feel after a long day at work. This is a deep, constant exhaustion that doesn't go away even after a full night's sleep. Remember, your cells aren't getting the glucose they need for energy because insulin isn't doing its job. So even though you have plenty of sugar floating around in your blood, your cells are essentially starving. You might also notice you're losing weight without trying. And for some guys, this actually feels like a good thing at first. But unexplained weight loss is a major red flag. What's happening is your body isn't able to use glucose for fuel, so it starts breaking down fat and muscle instead. You're literally wasting away because your cells are desperate for energy. Now let's talk about something that really gets men's attention. Sexual health. High blood sugar damages blood vessels and nerves over time, and this directly affects your ability to get and maintain an erection. Erectile dysfunction is extremely common in men with diabetes, and for many guys, it's actually one of the first symptoms they notice. The same vascular damage that affects your heart and kidneys also affects blood flow to your penis. Less blood flow means weaker erections or difficulty getting aroused at all. And because diabetes also affects nerve function, you might experience reduced sensation, making it harder to enjoy sex even when everything else seems fine. There's also a mental component here that doesn't get talked about enough. High blood sugar affects your mood and mental clarity. You might feel irritable for no reason, struggle to concentrate, or experience brain fog where you just can't think straight. Some men describe it as feeling disconnected or like they're moving through their day in slow motion. This happens because your brain relies heavily on glucose for energy, and when your blood sugar is unstable, swinging high and low throughout the day, your brain function suffers. You're not losing your edge or getting dumber. Your brain just isn't getting the steady fuel it needs to operate at full capacity. And here's something that might surprise you. Darkened skin patches, particularly around your neck, armpits, or groin. This condition is called acanthosis nigricans, and it's directly linked to insulin resistance. The skin in these areas becomes thick, dark, and velvety in texture. It's not dirt and it won't wash off. It's a visual sign that your body is producing too much insulin to try to compensate for cells that aren't responding properly. So when you put it all together, that persistent itching in your testicles isn't just an isolated annoyance. It's often part of a bigger picture. Your body is communicating with you through multiple channels, and the more of these symptoms you're experiencing together, the more urgent it becomes to get your blood sugar checked. The good news is that catching this early gives you a massive advantage. Prediabetes and early-stage type 2 diabetes are often reversible with the right lifestyle changes. But you have to know what you're dealing with first. Now let's get into what you can actually do about this, because understanding the problem is only half the battle. The real power comes from taking action, and the good news is that you have way more control over your blood sugar than you might think. Small changes in how you eat, move, and manage stress can have a massive impact on bringing your levels back into a healthy range. Let's start with food, because this is where most of the battle is won or lost. Your diet has a direct and immediate effect on your blood sugar. Every time you eat, especially when you're consuming carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises. We're talking about white bread, pastries, sugary drinks, candy, and processed snacks. These foods break down quickly and flood your bloodstream with glucose all at once. Your pancreas has to release a massive amount of insulin to deal with it, and over time, this constant spiking wears out your system and leads to insulin resistance. So what should you eat instead? Focus on whole foods that digest slowly and keep your blood sugar stable. Lean proteins like chicken, turkey, fish, and eggs are your friends. They don't raise blood sugar at all, and they keep you feeling full longer. Healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon help slow down digestion and prevent blood sugar spikes. And when it comes to carbs, choose complex carbohydrates that are high in fiber. Think vegetables, legumes like beans and lentils, and whole grains like oats, quinoa, and brown rice. Fiber slows down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, preventing those sharp spikes and crashes that mess with your energy and mood. One of the simplest tricks you can use is to never eat carbs alone. If you're going to have a piece of fruit or a slice of bread, pair it with protein or fat. For example, if you're eating an apple, have it with a handful of almonds or a spoonful of almond butter. The protein and fat slow down how quickly the sugar from the apple enters your bloodstream. This one habit can make a huge difference in keeping your blood sugar stable throughout the day. Now let's talk about movement, because exercise is one of the most powerful tools you have for controlling blood sugar. When you exercise, your muscles use glucose for energy, pulling it out of your bloodstream without needing as much insulin. This is why physical activity immediately lowers blood sugar levels and improves insulin sensitivity over time. You don't need to become a gym rat or run marathons. Even moderate activity like a 30-minute walk after meals can have a significant impact. In fact, walking after eating is one of the best things you can do because it helps your body process the glucose from your meal more efficiently. Strength training is especially important for men. Building muscle mass improves your body's ability to manage blood sugar because muscle tissue uses more glucose than fat tissue, even when you're resting. The more muscle you have, the better your body becomes at clearing glucose from your blood. Aim for at least 2 to 3 strength training sessions per week, focusing on compound movements like squats, deadlifts, push-ups, and rows that work multiple muscle groups at once. You'll not only improve your blood sugar control, but you'll also boost your testosterone, improve your mood, and feel stronger and more capable in your daily life. Sleep is another factor that most guys overlook, but it's absolutely critical for blood sugar regulation. When you don't get enough quality sleep, your body produces more cortisol, which is a stress hormone that raises blood sugar. Poor sleep also makes you more insulin resistant and increases cravings for sugary, high-carb foods. You've probably noticed this yourself. After a bad night's sleep, you reach for coffee and donuts or whatever quick energy you can find. Your body is desperately trying to compensate for the lack of rest with fast fuel. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid screens for at least an hour before bed, and try to go to sleep and wake up around the same time every day to regulate your body's internal clock. Stress management is just as important as diet and exercise. Chronic stress keeps your cortisol levels elevated, and high cortisol raises blood sugar and promotes fat storage, especially around your midsection. Find ways to actively manage stress that work for you. It could be deep breathing exercises, meditation, spending time in nature, or even just setting boundaries at work and in your personal life. A lot of men feel like they have to push through stress and just deal with it, but that approach is slowly damaging your body from the inside. Taking 10 minutes a day to sit quietly and breathe deeply can lower your cortisol, improve your mood, and help regulate your blood sugar. Hydration matters too. Drinking enough water helps your kidneys flush out excess glucose through urine and keeps all your bodily systems running smoothly. Aim for at least 8 glasses of water a day, and more if you're active or live in a hot climate. Avoid sugary drinks and limit alcohol, which can cause blood sugar swings and add empty calories that contribute to weight gain and insulin resistance. And here's something practical you can do right now. Get tested. If you're experiencing persistent itching in your groin along with any of the other symptoms we've talked about, schedule an appointment with your doctor and ask for a fasting blood glucose test or a hemoglobin A1C test. These tests show you exactly where your blood sugar levels are and whether you're in the normal range, pre-diabetic range, or diabetic range. Knowing your numbers gives you a clear starting point and takes the guesswork out of the equation. You can't fix what you don't measure. If you do get diagnosed with prediabetes or diabetes, don't panic. It's not a death sentence. It's information you can use to make better choices and take control of your health. Many men have reversed prediabetes and even early type 2 diabetes through lifestyle changes alone. You have the power to turn this around, but it requires commitment and consistency. Small daily actions add up to massive results over time. So let's bring this all together. That persistent itch in your testicles isn't something to ignore or just cover up with creams. It could be your body's early warning system telling you that your blood sugar is out of balance. And when you combine that symptom with things like increased thirst, frequent urination, fatigue, blurry vision, or slow healing, the message becomes even clearer. Your body is asking you to pay attention and take action. The good news is that you're not powerless here. You can take control by adjusting what you eat, moving your body regularly, managing your stress, getting quality sleep, and staying hydrated. If this video helped you understand what's going on with your body and gave you actionable steps to take, go ahead and hit that like button and share this with another guy who needs to hear it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that now because we're putting out content every week designed specifically to help men like you stay strong, healthy, and in control of your life. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've experienced any of these symptoms or if you have questions about managing your blood sugar naturally. I read every comment and I'm here to support you on this journey. Take care of yourself, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.
Prime Health Lab is dedicated to men's internal health. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.